Hello, I'm Shieldwall100 and welcome back to my channel for another Batman Miniatures game report. Bit of a special one, of course. It's the inaugural Scarecrow debut as a leader on my channel anyway, and yeah, he's got his own crew now, and it would be remiss of me not to display it. We're going to put him up against his old buddy Joker. I actually quite like it when these two interact in the comics, and yeah, so it seemed like a good way to mix a new crew in who I'm not really sure about with an old crew who I'm quite familiar with, to make sure the game runs possibly a little bit smoother than otherwise. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself. As you can see, it's a fairly straightforward board layout today. I didn't want to go too crazy. Hopefully it'll be nice and easy to catch those action shots, shall we say. And yeah, we're going to get on. I'm going to show you the crews. I have the Joker crew here, thought I'd start with them. Yes, we're going for the, I like to think it was the classic Joker now for 3rd edition. I've had him for quite a while. I do like his model an awful lot. I consider him pretty much the standard default Joker, which I really like. Otherwise, we've got yes, the actual new addition is the latest Harley Quinn model from the Arkham Asylum Villains pack. I've finally got round to building and painting her. Unfortunately, whilst on holiday, someone was looking after the house, and there was a rather nasty accident involving this particular box set, and it literally shredded some of the models, so I've had to do some major reconstruction work on some of them, and Harley Quinn was salvageable though, so yeah, heartbreaking, but at least we got Harley Quinn, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this new cheaper version of the character plays out in a game. It gives me the chance to take people like Bloodsport here, or as I call him, Idris Elba. But yes, I've been very impressed with his performance for the Suicide Squad, and since he's a free agent and we had some points, I thought I'd use him here today. The rest of the crew is mainly dual henchmen, various sources. There's some street jesters, some of the classics, one of my favourites there, Ace of Spades, always like him with his gas. One of the Joker's paramilitary with that amazing custom submachine gun, and there you can see more jesters, as well as one of the Joker victims to make up the points. So yeah, it's a fairly compact force as is possible, but that makes it possible for filming. I'll just zoom out a little bit to capture them all. There they are. And yeah, that's the Joker crew for today. Scarecrow crew in its current state really only has one configuration that neatly makes it to 350 points out of the box, and that's the Scarecrow himself on his horse here. Lovely model, really enjoyed painting him, and the remainder of his crew as in the box set. Yeah, we've got the Arkham Asylum staff, including the sidekick Dr. Frutawa, I think that's how you pronounce it, but Fright, as she's going to become in the comics, and yeah, she has intel support for today, so don't forget that funky rule. I may, hope I don't, but I may. And the remaining parts of the crew are made up by nightmares, who are really interesting types of henchmen. So there's 3 here of various size, as well as another one here, and this chap just here. They're kind of like a weird sort of take on Ivy's plants, but there are some differences, but these things, the nightmares, all are as figments of the imagination, or are they? Ooh. But no, as figments of imagination, they manifest themselves from suspect markers, and then are fairly immobile, but have a zone of control bubble around them from which they can manipulate suspects and attack people and things. So yeah, kind of like Ivy's plants, but with some different bells and whistles. Okay, yeah, so here we go. It's a fairly interesting crew. One quick word on the objective card deck. I know that Night Models and others are moving towards a 30 card deck system, which is fine, and it's still in beta at the moment, and I encourage anyone who plays to check that out, because it's a really interesting development. But for purposes of an easy battle report, and the fact that I don't want to do any more printing of cards if I can help it, let's just zoom out a little bit. There we go. I've picked 20 cards from the Scarecrow deck that I think are most likely to be applicable in this particular game, easier for my little brain to get my head round. And yeah, so it's a 20 card Scarecrow deck, despite the fact there are 30 in the in the box set that you get, and that's an important factor to note because you won't be seeing all of them. Okay, I've had to leave a few cards out, of course, so there you are, but I hope to have a representative sample for you so you get a good feel for how the crew works. And if you want to see the full deck, then they're all online anyway, so off you go. Okay, deployment is complete, so let's show you where everything is. I've actually done the first 2 phases of round 1, and then my audio corrupted for this bit, so lovely, got to record them both again, so here we go. I got back to having actually had to move anyone yet though, so at least we didn't get far into the game before realising. Right, here we go. We've got the Joker crew. It's all mainly clustered around the main man himself, Joker, just there in the middle, because they want to be using his Inspire rule, so there he goes. And yeah, and as you can see, we've got Harley Quinn and Bloodsport with Audacity for this first round because they can't be allocated it during the course of the turn through the Chaos Agent rule. So that's it. So there you go. But those 2 models are clearly ones you'd want to give Audacity to. For the Scarecrow, they only start with 4 models on the board. We've got the main man himself, Dr. Fright, and the 2 Arkham Asylum staff back there, not looking particularly pleased with how outnumbered they are, but as the course of the game goes on, they will be joined by their nightmares, by the Joker crew's nightmares, at least I hope. They obviously got the Scarecrow himself and Fright with Audacity counters, as you would hope, and yeah, and also getting Audacity are 2 of the nightmares that I'm trying out. We're going with the Fear Beast nightmare and the Nightmare of Fear, the the Scarecrow looking one. So yeah, there you go, the actual Scarecrow, not the character Scarecrow. So there you go. And finally, what happened in the setup phase though, after I deployed, is that because I'd given Fright some interesting equipment for some of my funding, she was able to put a fear card into the Scarecrow's objective deck. Now if I just pop over here where I'm keeping them, here's the fear crew card, here's the fear cards. They have the same backs as the objective cards. As they get added to the deck, they literally get shuffled in, and if you draw them through the course of the turn or whatever, you immediately apply their effects. They've got little effects on the top corner there, and you know, as you draw them out of here, you get little buffs or bonuses for your crew if you're the Scarecrow player, so that's cool. And also the terror effect applies to one of the Joker crew models, doesn't matter which one at this early stage. Take 2 of the Joker crew objective cards and pick one. It gets locked down into the terror pile over here, and it can't be used until the Joker crew makes an attack, defense, or willpower roll and opts to use them up. If they do, for each card they can take up to 3. They take a small debuff on the model that's taking the test or something. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. And yeah, the Scarecrow crew gets some benefits for having cards in the terror pile as well. Various traits play into it. The Scarecrow's attacks, for example, get extra efforts for having more cards in the terror pile, and other things. It ties into the deck scoring and all other bits like that. What else happened? Oh yes, so the Scarecrow in the first round got the initiative, so they'll be going first. That's easy enough. Before the game started, they were able to play State of Fear. This is the Scarecrow's own card, and it starts the game in the opening. There's its text. Hopefully what I just said makes the text a little bit more understandable, but yes, so there you go. There you are. Yes, so it has a numerical counter of 1 on it at this point because 1 card's been put into the fear pile. So that one card when a fear card is returned to the fear pile. So yes, as the cards come out, as the fear cards are drawn from the Scarecrow objective deck, they're put back in the fear pile, and that's when this counter starts going up. And that's when you can try to start scoring it, which I probably will. It's a 3-pointer. Anyway, what else happened? Oh yes, the Joker crew were able to play Psychopaths in the second phase, so we have seen that plenty of times before. Kind of speculative for turn 1, of course, but you never know if you're going to score it. If you don't play it, you never will, that's for sure. And it does get it out of the hand to draw another one. And that's basically it where we got up to, I believe. I'm going to move on now. It's the first turn's activation. Let's see what you got. Okay, first model of the game to move was Dr. Fright herself. She had audacity, as can be seen there. Let's take that off. Oopsie. Oh, sorry about that for the jolt. Knocked the camera. Okay, right. She moved out and popped down a suspect marker with her manipulate action. Because of her traits, she was able to then add another card from the fear pile to the objective card deck, and that allayed her to play Boo as an objective from the hand for 2 points to get the Scarecrow off to a start. A fear card added to the deck, which is what she did for putting down a suspect marker. A nice easy way to score this particular card for 2 points, and that gets the Scarecrow crew off to a scoring start, like I said, and a suspect marker down on the board, which is very important indeed. And that's it really. We're now going to move to the Joker crew. Oh no, what she also did, she has a trait which allows, I forgot what it's called off the top of my head, but she has a trait, a special action. She was able to cycle add 2 cards to the Scarecrow's hand, which enabled him to cycle the deck a little bit, and maybe it also helps potentially draw those fear cards. So yeah, we'll see how that goes for them, but no fear cards drawn just yet. Well, Bloodsport's not impressed by all these loonies, and so he activated for the Joker crew. He moved forwards from his position here. Well, actually, first he used his Outlaw Field Commander special trait to give the Joker 2 defense counters, as you can see there, and he moved forwards and then opened fire on Scarecrow. Now he moved up, and he has the sharpshooter rule, which means he ignores cover, and it scored 2 hits, only 2 hits. He chose Assault and Red Dot and was unfortunate. Nonetheless, I mean, Scarecrow's not the easiest to hit his defense 4, so I suppose it's not that bad, but 2 hits is 4 points of blood on the Scarecrow, well, crew leader, which is a lot, to be honest. So yeah, giving the Scarecrow pause for thought on this very first activation of the game. But anyway, that's that, and well, at least he didn't kill him. That would have made for a very weird battle report, but hey, we're going to get on now into the next part of the turn. Okay, Scarecrow's continued with the Nightmare of Anger. Close combat oriented nightmare, deploying he's placed in contact with a friendly suspect marker, which is here. He then because he has the nightmare visage or terrible visage trait, the Scarecrow player can then move that suspect 4 inches, so they moved it over here, and right, he then has his activation as normal. Right, so he attacked Bloodsport in close combat. Just before doing so, the Scarecrow crew played Test Patience for 2 points. It's one of those cards that stacks up as over time, so it will last as long as it needs to. Each time a friendly model with a Nightmare trait scores at least 1 successful hit, place a marker on it. Once it's got 5 markers, score the card. So good to get these out early so they can start plugging away towards getting points as you do damage to the enemy. Anyway, he then attacked Bloodsport in close combat. Don't forget he's got a zone of control he can attack from, so it doesn't have to be in base contact. Right, being a nightmare and having the what's it called? Is it the insidious? No, it's the tangible fear trait. Although he only has a attack value of 2, Bloodsport's own defense score against him is his willpower divided by 2, rounded down. So Bloodsport was only defense 3 against this attack. Just check that. Yes, defense 3 against the attack, so it wasn't awesome. And what with so yeah, so it was easier to hit him and everything, and he had a harder time defending. Overall, the devastating trait really came into it, and not only did Bloodsport get knocked down, well, no, he didn't get knocked. It was a critical hit against him with one of the 2 critical dice. So not only did well, Bloodsport take 2 points of blood damage, 1 per hit. He also, the True Fear trait activated, a critical trait activated, adding another fear card to the Scarecrow's deck. Haven't drawn any yet, incidentally. But also, yes, I forgot to say, Bloodsport opted to take the 1 card from the Terror deck into his, as a penalty, and so what we do is we look at the card. This is the card that was under there. It's that little exclamation mark. Okay, that determines what the effect is, and the effect is that Bloodsport got poisoned for his trouble. So there you go. Obviously, this is the first time I'm explaining these mechanics, so I'm not going to do it that much in the future, to be perfectly honest, because you'll have heard it before and I don't want the game to overrun massively. Video time's annoying for some, I'm sure. Anyway, right, and that's it, because it was a critical, true, yes, and also, no, not true fear activated because it was a critical, adding a fear card, as I just said. Also, the terror effect happened again, so Bloodsport suffered terror, which put another card under the deck, or at least it would have done, except for a resource. New compound, Linda Fright's card came into play, where both cards got put under, so there's now 2 cards under the terror pile, hurrah. So there you are, and yeah, that's basically the activation. Phew. So that's a nightmare out on the board. It's a model, it can be targeted, it's not a fiction of the imagination entirely, it can be shot, damaged, but anyone attacking it in close combat or being attacked by it uses half their willpower for their attack and defense characteristics instead of their normal. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that pans out, because I haven't really worked out all the ramifications yet. Well, from a relatively complicated activation to a very simple one, Street Jester 4 activated for the Joker. He is inspired by the Joker's presence, so no need to give him one of those precious points of audacity. He moved up and popped down a suspect, and as you can see, it's a stinky fish. We've seen this many times, and yeah, so there you go. Stinky fish Joker trying to get on the scoreboard as well. Well, we went with the Scarecrow since I want to get some use out of him before he dies. First of all, he acted over here, he had audacity. He popped down a suspect marker. When he did so, he played It's Okay to Be Afraid. A 3-point objective card, only one of them can be played at a time. When a friendly model places a suspect, you target that suspect, which is what I've done. I don't know if you can see, I wrote It's Okay to Be Afraid on it, just there, just so it's marked until such time as we need to change it. You score if that target suspect marker is in play the next time you draw or discard a fear card. So next time I draw a card to draw a card from the objective deck, I can score this card assuming it's still in play. So that's good. So yes, the Joker would have to get over here and pick it up before that happened. Unfortunately, in redrawing back up to 4, I drew a fear card from the top of the deck, and an enemy. This is a good printing error from Knight models. An enemy model is moved 4 inches directly backwards the closest enemy model. So I'm assuming that means backwards towards the closest enemy model. That's not too difficult to infer. So I picked the Joker's paramilitary who was here, and he's run back screaming to his Joker daddy. Anyway, so there you go. So this fear card goes to the bottom of the fear pile. Okay, so that's pretty cool. When he put down a suspect marker, he added another fear card to the pile anyway, to the objective pile anyway, so that's fun. He then moved over to here and has his 2 special actions left since his scientific. First of all, he used Inspire Fear on Bloodsport, not only scaring him but afflicting the terror effect as well, and giving him -4 inches movement. He then used Casting Fears to get the Nightmare of Anger to attack once again. Bloodsport cashed in some more terror and he took another point of poison, as you can see there, a couple of points of blood damage and another point of blood damage into the bargain from the Nightmare of Anger too. So Bloodsport's hurting quite nastily at the moment and very scared. So there you go. Being scared is -1 off your attack and defense, which when it's already reduced to 3 through when he's being attacked by a nightmare, it gets really gross. So there you go. It's a 3-point score for the Scarecrow. He's moved over. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of cards and cards in his deck for fear as well, so that's pretty good. Okay, right, back to the Joker crew. The new improved Harley Quinn, well, maybe not improved, activated. She had audacity. She first of all used Follow Me on this young lady, Street Jester back here, to give her an extra boost of speed. She then moved into combat with the Joker, with the Scarecrow, shall I say, looking to potentially beat him down since he's not particularly tough before he get another activation in. But the Scarecrow has a trait which allows him to play a terror card, well, remove one of his terror cards he's got accrued to transfer the attack to someone else. So that's what he did to the Nightmare of Anger. So Harley Quinn obviously beat him down instead, and well, she knocked him unconscious, and with a Nightmare you knock him unconscious, that's a casualty, so he's off the board. He might be able to come back, but it's not as straightforward as just bringing back a plant with Ivy. There are some things, but yeah, we might be seeing the Nightmare of Anger again. That's it for Harley Quinn's activation. Yeah, she is done. Well, roaring into the fray, the Fear Beast Nightmare activated, and well, he was appeared from the suspect marker was there, which was then moved by the Joker crew backwards over here to keep it out of harm's way, hopefully for their sakes. He manifested just there. Played What Do You Fear? As an objective. It's a 3-point and it will last as long as it does. When a fear card is returned to the fear pile, place a marker on this card. Score when there's 4 markers on the card. So this will be a build up over the course of the game, and the Scarecrow crew will hopefully score 3 points for their sakes. He had Audacity, did the Fear Beast Nightmare, so he after appearing, he used his Inspire Fear on Harley Quinn. She failed by a goodly margin, meaning that she's scared. There's another terror effect activated, and yes, she's minus 4 inches movement. So yeah, he then attacked using his tactical action to attack, well, Bloodsport, and finished him off sadly for Bloodsport, and killed him. More terror cards into the fray. Yeah, has been added there. So yeah, I'm not going to go into them all by default, but yes, it was just to say after terror cards were played and everything, he went up to poison 3, which is hardcore, and but yeah, he's dead now, I'm afraid. Bloodsport is off the board, which kind of sucks. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought he'd be tough, especially with his Kevlar vest. It's just he's been, well, the rolls have been not with him today. But him dying, he is poisoned, so Joker can play Seasoning the Mix as a nice 2-point instant score, as a model with the poison effect is removed as a casualty. So there we go, and that is, as they say, that. We're going to move now back to the Joker crew. Went with Street Jester number 4. I think it's 4. Nope, it's 3. The lady with the gas gun. She sprinted up. She had the extra movement earlier on from Harley Quinn, and she first of all used Joker's gas to give everyone nearby within 4 inches, including unfortunately Harley Quinn, and bad case of the laughing gas, poison 1 and innovating 1 all round. And then she popped down a suspect marker because playing the need to score points, let them in on the joke, was a good one. Nice easy score. Places a suspect marker for 2 points and cycles the deck a little bit as well in a crazy style. And that's her activation done. Over to the Scarecrow crew. In possibly the first uneventful activation of the Scarecrow's go, Arkham Assistant number 2 activated. He was back here, he moved up. He's inspired by Dr. Fright's presence, so he popped down a suspect marker as well. And that's him altogether done. No cards played this time. Okay, this Joker's paramilitary is ever a favourite among the fans, and he proved it again just now. He wasn't interested in being scared anymore. He got a strict talking to from Uncle Joker and moved up. He took 1 point of Audacity from the pile. That's it now. There's no more Audacity in the Joker crew, I'm afraid. And he shot at the Arkham Asylum dude here, because if they allow another nightmare to spawn from this suspect marker, this guy's going to end up being able to use it to bodyguard him, which they didn't want. Need to get some respect back in this crew. They just had Bloodsport taken out from under them. So yes, he opened fire, and even with a really bad roll, still did enough damage to kill Arkham Asylum Assistant. So there you go. He also, because he was inspired, he popped down a suspect marker and enabled him to play Let Them In on the Joke again for 2 more lovely points. Can't argue with that. And yeah, so a model down, a couple of points scored. Yeah, this guy is awesome. with the Nightmare of Insignificance, and he popped into play just here, and because he has the terrible visage rule, I was able to move the suspect marker on Scarecrow's benefit a bit closer into the middle there. Right, lots of things. This guy can throw some really nasty pumpkin, I guess, at, and he was really tempted to do it at him, but no, we're going to play the scenario, get the points. He decided to use his zone of control to pick up this suspect marker just here. Boink, done. Nice. Okay. And don't forget, because he's not inspired, it's the only thing he can do, this activation, and so he that's him done. But doing so enabled him to play Fear Makes You Predictable, which is quite fun. Yes, so revealing this new suspect with influences of an enemy model suffering an effect, and Harley Quinn is suffering the scared effect, so there you are. 2 points for Scarecrow. Of course, Joker being Joker, he played so long it's been a gas. There's an immediate reaction to that. An enemy model reveals one of your suspect markers. What was I saying? The opponent must choose one of their models, place an enemy suspect marker in contact with that model. Okay, so yeah, I forgot to mention, need to put down another suspect marker. We'll put that one down just over here. Okay, and I think that that means that this guy gets Enervating 2. I don't actually want Enervating 2 on that tree because he's already carrying one. I'm going to put this suspect marker actually over here in contact with Fright, who can have Enervating 2. Not that she'll ever worry about it because she's Intel support, so nah. Anyway, that's him done and dusted. There, 2 points of victory points apiece though. The Joker immediately cancelling them out. Fear Makes You Predictable means there's a little bit of subtext just there. Looking at the board state, I figured the Joker would go with the first one, so 2 more fear cards added into the deck. But yeah, there you go. That's it for their activation. It's over now to the Joker crew. Joker crew went with Ace of Spades, and he hasn't got Audacity, so he just moved along here, popped down a suspect marker because I figured they might need some for future returns, etc. Yeah, that's him done. The Joker crew has rather shot its bolt at this point. There's no more Audacity left, and the Scarecrow crew knows it, so we'll see if they can change that into anything in the remainder of this first round. The Nightmare of Fear activated next and appeared with Audacity, as you can see there, and between the inspiring fear, which made this chap scared and terrified and all that stuff, and he also popped down between efforts, and he got poisoned through using terror cards. 3 points of blood, 3 points of stun on this poor Joker's paramilitary just here. It prompted a fear card to be added to the deck, so Boo was played as an objective for 2 points. A fear card added to the deck, lovely, just there. So that concludes this Nightmares activation, and it was a lot more involved than you'd imagine because there was lots of little things triggering here and there, but I thought I'd keep it to the cliff notes. Street Jester 2, one of my favourite models in the game, activated next. He moved down here and picked up the Scarecrow suspect marker that was just down there, allowing Joker to play so long. It's been a gas again, this time on his, inflicting the unfortunate side effects on his own crew, and the only one who was really capable of taking it because of proximity to other suspect markers, etc., or being in the deployment zone, was this Joker's paramilitary, whose woes continue, and he gets Enervating 2 as well as putting down a suspect marker just there. But that's what, if Joker needs 2 points, he needs 2 points. The Arkham Asylum staff number 1 activated next. She moved out to here, one of the few places that could actually put down a suspect marker, and she did so because she was inspired by Dr. Fright there. And when she did so, she played It's Okay to Be Afraid as a 3-pointer. We saw that earlier with Scarecrow. Yep, so there you go. Score if the target suspect marker is in play. The next time you draw or discard a fear card. Well, when again, in redrawing up to the maximum, she drew a fear card, which inflicted terror on Harley Quinn for being near a suspect, but also immediately, and this isn't done on purpose, it's just fluke, scored It's Okay to Be Afraid, because yes, the fear card was, revealed after I put down this suspect marker, literally just after. That's sometimes how it's going to be. I'm sure sometimes you're going to be playing this card and then wondering where those fear cards have all gone off to, and getting nervous when enemies get close to your suspect markers. But no, there you go, it's done, and that's an easy one of the easiest 3-point scores I've seen. But that's how it goes, I suppose. Yeah, that's that, and we're going to move now to the next activation for Joker. Next up, just the Joker's victim activating. Had no audacity and no reason to give him any. He just moved up. That was really all he had to do, because well, there's no cards that could be played at this point. So I'm going to move back now to the Scarecrow crew. And the last Scarecrow activation this turn is the Nightmare of Demotivation, I think he is. The alas poor Yorick chap there. Right, he activated. He was placed down in contact with the suspect marker, which has since been moved back there by the Joker crew to keep it out of harm's way, stop any more nightmares from spawning nearby. Right, so he attacked Harley Quinn with his singular action and did 1 hit after all was said and done, but some terror cards were chucked in there to basically Harley took a couple of points of damage, got poisoned up to 2 now, which sucks for her. And yeah, so but the 1 hit was what was necessary. What was it? Sorry, what do you? Oh god. Test Patience. There you go. Test Patience scored finally from the beginning of the turn. Plenty of hits done by Nightmare. Scores the 2 points for the Scarecrow crew. Let me see. Use State of Fear. Scarecrow's own card was scored. After a certain number of cards were handed in, they were able to actually hand in Fear Makes You Predictable. They discard this one because it's got that little chain circular symbol there. It qualifies to be used, and that allowed them to score State of Fear. Just trust me on this, guys. I can't really go into it in too much detail. Yeah, they were able to do that one. A Fear card came out of the pile next, which was this one. Move an enemy model backwards to be close to a friend. We move the mindless monster Joker victim back because he's out of the game for another turn now. Oh boy. And when that card was put back in the Fear deck, what do you fear scored as well for the Scarecrow, because by dint of the number of cards all coming together with their countdowns at the same time, so another 3 points. So that makes it a total of 8 points scored for the Scarecrow crew there in 1 activation. That's a bit of an avalanche. I don't think you see many activations scoring that many points outside of the Court of Owls, really, who can set up weird chain combos as well. So that's basically it for the Scarecrow crew. We're just going to go back. Well, we've got the Joker himself to go. We'll see if he can get up to anything, but he's only got 1 activation, so he's probably going to be teeing himself up for the next turn. And yes, as I expected, the Joker activated to pop himself over here in the mix for the next coming turn, where he's hoping to be able to influence a lot more than just now. So yeah, that's him done. And yeah, we're going to move to the end phase now. Recount. We've got some stuff to recount. Haha. But yes, brutal first round there for the Joker against the Joker crew, with so many points going against them. But they've always got a few tricks up their sleeve, and the Nightmares are squishy, as are the Arkham Asylum staff, but we'll see how things bear out in just a mo. Recount phase for round 1 is finished. Oh, forgot to take the scared marker off of Harley Quinn. There we go. Now it's finished. Okay. Right, cards scored. Well, that is still a fish, and it's still on the board, so it doesn't look fresh. Does score for the Joker for 2 points. From the Scarecrow's hand, the Dawn comes out. The objective deck has at least 1 fear card in it. Well, it certainly still does, so 2 points for them as well. Psychopaths for the Joker did not score, despite there being a fair old go at it, but no, there were not more markers for than against, so no 3 points there for the Joker crew. Never mind. And yeah, every model took a point of stun damage off where it could. The Scarecrow and his big old Fear Beast ignored the poison that was on them, which was annoying for the Joker crew, but Harley Quinn and the Joker paramilitary both succumbed to their poison, taking exploited damage, much to their master's chagrin, I'm sure, since the Scarecrow crew got off so lightly. Oh well. Right, that's it. We're going to go now to the next round, and I'll see you in just a second. Into the scrum that is round number 2, and look at this chaotic scene here. Yes, well, chaos would normally favour the Joker, but I think the Scarecrow crew is equally suited to this kind of pandemonium. But yes, let's tell you what's going on. So, crucially, the die roll for initiative came up in the Joker's favour. He was very gambling on that, very much, and yes, because, well, he needed to take some risks because he's currently trailing in points, and that's never where you want to be as the Joker. Anyway, in terms of cards played, he played Showtime, which we have seen before. It's his signature card. There's the text if you want to pause it. So all the Scarecrow suspect markers are actually being sucked into his presence as he starts putting on a show. He's got 4 models worth of activations to keep those suspects there. So there you go. Right. What else happened? Oh yes, in the second part of the phase, the raise the plan phase, Joker crew played Psychopath once again from their hand. Potential 3 points just there. No cards for the Scarecrow amongst these ones, I'm afraid. They've got most of their cards though, points though, during the activations last time, so they'll be hoping to carry on that trend. Who got Audacity? Well, for the Joker crew, it's just Harley Quinn, who needs to have it assigned to her. The Scarecrow though has to say who gets all of it, so we're going with Scarecrow, Dr. Fright, the Fear Beast Nightmare, and the Nightmare of... which one's he? He's the Nightmare of Fear, the big ass Scarecrow. I just like the Inspire Fear rule, so you know, that is a good way of getting terror cards in. The Scarecrow currently without any terror cards in their little hand, in their little terror pile, so we'll see if they have to start afresh this turn. Well, having been the last model to activate in the previous round, the Joker decided he was going to be the first to go this time, and he certainly did. Had a good go, that is. He activated, he took one of the points of Audacity. He's got some good stuff, this model, Joker, if only you know to use it, and so he gets a free action to prove a point, which he used on Scarecrow. Now, so Scarecrow automatically now cannot make any special actions of his own, and has to reduce his willpower pool by 1 die for the remainder of the turn, which is pretty good, considering that's Joker basically locking down Scarecrow's biggest bonus this turn is to do that. He can't really move, can Joker, because he wants to score his card, and also he's actually providing inspiration to just about his entire crew there, so there's that. So he didn't move, but he did use his tactical action to use one of the bullets from his Joker's big honking gun there, and whilst doing his performance for his Showtime card, he managed to do a trick shot, and he blew away the Fear Beast Nightmare with hitting with every die on 2. So there you go. He chose the Fear Beast Nightmare for several reasons. He could have gone for Scarecrow, of course, who's relatively vulnerable with no cards in the terror pile, but the Fear Beast Nightmare has bodyguard anyway, so could have easily just taken the shot himself. It was easier to hit him in the first place, so rather than, and there's actually cover in between Joker and Scarecrow, so in the end going for the Nightmare seemed like the better option because it strips away the protection that Scarecrow has in the immediacy. Okay, and that's it. Finally, he used his special action, I forgot to say, to put kill them on his katana wielding buddy there, giving this guy 2 attack die. So yeah, there you go. We're down a Fear Beast Nightmare. Don't forget, we may see this guy again, but he can't be brought back in the same turn that he died in this Nightmare. So it'll have to be round 3 onwards if he comes back at all. Okay, continuing the theme of the leaders going first, the Scarecrow activated next. He really needed some cards to go into the terror pile, basically. Otherwise, it's going to be a messy one for him, and because he needs the terror pile in order to activate his trait that lets him use the nightmares as collateral damage if he gets targeted. Anyway, he played, before he was over here, he had Audacity, but he can't use any special actions thanks to the Joker's to prove a point trait earlier. He played What Do You Fear as a an objective. We've seen that already, so yeah, that will tick up during the course of the game, hopefully towards the 3 points for Scarecrow. He moved over and he engaged this chap, the Joker's paramilitary with the gun, who's very, very wounded in combat. He needed to kill him off with the scythe, and he did. He passed a strength die roll, and one hit got through, because Scarecrow's not particularly super powerful when it comes to melee without any terror cards in the terror pile, so never mind, but it was enough to finish this chap off, and he is away from the game. Yeah, so that activated terror, because the Scarecrow's scythe causes terror if it does any hits, and once again they use new compound as a resource to add both cards to the terror pile, and yes, they're just within 8 inches of Dr. Fright over there, so yeah, okay, and that's it. Well, that's that then. Okay, right, we are done. There were no other cards played. No, oh, actually no, sorry, what was I saying? There was a card played, sorry. The Joker then played You're Expendable, because one of his crew with the Trickster trait got taken out of the game as a casualty, so 1 point, you know, as a backup prize there for the Joker crew. Okay, we went with the Street Jester lady with the gas gun. She took a point of audacity as well, because there's things to do and she's got good weapons to use them with. She moved over to here. She was inspired by Joker, so she popped down a suspect marker, which, as you can see, is a pair of exploding, clattering teeth. So she played Bite the Dust, of course, indicating that. We've seen this many times before on this channel, so I won't belabor the point. She then opened fire with her, her gas gun, and, well, no, she then used her special action, sorry, to use Joker's gas, and that poisoned everyone around. Poor Harley is up to poison 3 now and enervating 2. I didn't mark the enervating on the nightmares because they can't use efforts anyway, but yes, they're poisoned as well. And then she used the gas gun to scoosh down here, which hurt the nightmares, who aren't dead yet. They've got very low life, but it was only 1 point of blood, and the Scarecrow had to burn a terror card so that he could knock the target onto this guy at the back here, who just failed to be wounded in his attack, so he actually bought it in the end. But yeah, so there you go. Overall, yes, the Scarecrow having to use terror cards in order to prevent attacks coming his way, but he is actually pretty solidly safe at this exact moment, because the only other Joker hitters really probably coming his way are close combat people, and they have to pass a willpower roll to attack him, and there's so many models around him with Insidious and things and various negative buffs to willpower rolls that they're probably not going to be able to attack him for now. So he's probably safe for now, although he is poisoned and it's going badly for him. But yeah, he has acted, and the Joker has locked down his special actions anyway, so I guess we'll see how things carry on anyway. So yeah, that's that for the Joker crew. Back to Scarecrow. Okay, well, just because the Scarecrow's out of special actions doesn't mean that the Scarecrow is completely bereft of them, as Dr. Fright just demonstrated. She activated. Boy, okay, so first of all she popped down a suspect marker, and as you can see, It's Okay to Be Afraid came out once again, and I promise I'm not making this up, straight away the card to replace that one from the hand was a fear card, meaning it scores again instantaneously, which is a joke. So friendly model within 4 inches got an attack marker, went with this nightmare here, but yeah, there you go. I don't know. So yeah, 3 points in the bag for Scarecrow straight away. I guess it's just one of those lucky days for them, I guess. Yeah, so there you are. And sure enough, the next model to come out, next card, sorry, to come out was another fear card straight off the top. So yeah, which is helping to tick up the, excuse me, just while I check it, the What Do You Fear objective, which was played earlier. So blimey, you know, it's all coming up Scarecrow at the moment. But yes, so she popped down a suspect marker. She hasn't moved. She's then inspired fear in Harley Quinn, who with a horrible +3 on her willpower roll as a penalty. She rolled an 11, which went up to 14, which is way a fail. And yes, that was a pain in the bum, because that meant she took half of her endurance value in damage. So she took 3 points of damage there. And just to top it all off, Dr. Fry ordered Casting Fears to be used, and yeah, it finished her off with 1 additional damage point. There you go, boom, done. And that's Harley Quinn off the board, as a nightmare was ordered to attack her and cause 1 point of damage. So that's that. That was hardcore. Other things to recount. Oh yes, Joker's Showtime finally ticked down to 0, so that is 3 points, however, scored for the Joker crew, but that's a nasty hit against them anyway. Another one, they're just down to Joker and a bunch of henchmen, but that's all he needs to score points, let's not forget. Yeah, so let's carry on. Wow, the turn have tables, Human. This Joker's Jester here, I think it's yeah, Street Jester 4 with the mallet, had an activation. He took the last point of audacity available to the Joker this turn and swanned into the middle directly between these 2 nightmares here and activated 360-degree attack. He's got the impetuous trait that gave him a bunch more dice, so even though these are corporeal nightmares or incorporeal nightmares, he's attacking, he got a bunch of extra dice, and well, a couple of hits got through here and there. He only needed 1 on each, and these guys are both KO'd, which makes them out of the game as casualties, because they are merely nightmares. So he's just swinging around at his fears. He revealed 3 terror cards when he did the attack roll, which gave him 3 points of blood damage. That's nice, but he is still alive, but he's hurt. But that does take 2 Scarecrow models out, and then because he was inspired, he was still able to put down a suspect marker, and he's put down another stinky fish. With it doesn't look fresh. There you go, for 2 potential points come the end of the turn. So overall, pretty damn good activation there for Joker. Good revenge for Harley Quinn. The Scarecrow crew burnt their last terror card to reimagine the Nightmare of Anger here. He moved in just on this part of the board here and attacked the Katana Clown Jester in close combat, well, with his melee attack, and yes, only got 1 hit through in the end. It was enough to put more terror cards back in the pile, though. He was really hoping to get a critical hit. We've got 2 strength dice, so it's not beyond the bounds of imagination that he could get it. If he had done, he'd have put some more fear cards in the deck as well, but not to be. The Scarecrow crew's starting to run out of a little bit of steam, since they can't seem to be playing their objective cards just yet. But they've scored plenty in the past, so we'll keep going, and you know, still the Joker crew playing catch up as far as I can see. Well, we went with Ace of Spades next for the Joker. He simply moved across, no audacity for him again, but it was enough for him to be able to put down a suspect marker and let the Scarecrow crew in on the joke for another 2 victory points for the Joker crew. They really are starting to claw it back this turn. We'll find, I guess, yeah, it's only turn 2 though, still plenty to play for, of course, and the Scarecrow had a blinding first turn. So yeah, we'll carry on. Arkham Assistant 1 is, yes, she's basically, she's activated. She is inspired by Dr. Fright's presence, but she can't really do anything because there's a suspect marker nearby anyway. What she did do, though, was use her Subliminal Suggestion special action on this nightmare here to empower his attack and get him to attack this Street Jester just over. Okay? And, the Street Jester took 1 point of blood damage from a drawn terror card, and then she also took 2 points of stun damage after the attack was done and dusted. Yeah, so pretty hardcore. Oh, she's also got poison 1, which I forgot to mark on there, because this model does poison damage, so that's fun. In terms of cards, I did have a couple of things to tell you. Yes, Test Patience was played at the beginning of this activation, so we had that before, and it's got a little chit towards it now because a Nightmare has just done some damage. And also, I forgot to say, the Exploding Teeth teeth got to about here and then exploded, so causing 1 point of blood damage on each of these 3 models: Joker, this Nightmare, and the Katana Jester. Meaning Bite the Dust did also score for the Joker crew at the end of last turn. Just forgot to mention it there. Okay, right, that's that for this activation. Lots of the Joker's crew are now carrying damage, so you know, although the Scarecrow crew have lost models as well, but Joker's crew certainly not undiminished either, and it's lost its 2 heaviest hitters. So this game's probably a lot closer than I'm taking it into account right now. Yeah, Street Jester 2 with the Katana activated next. He moved up, popped down another suspect marker. It was another set of exploding teeth with Bite the Dust, lovely jubbly. And yeah, so there you go. That's another set going for the game. He was inspired, but he couldn't get to a suspect marker to pick up, whilst also being able to put down another one. So yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. Back to Scarecrow for, I think, the Scarecrow crew's last activation this round. Okay, yeah, and the Nightmare of Demotivation attacked again, the same target, and knocked her out this time. Even managed to cause a critical, which is True Fear, adding a fear card to the deck, which enabled the Scarecrow crew to play Boo again for a fear card being added to the deck. In replacing that one, of course, they drew a fear card, moving a suspect 4 inches, so it was the one over by Fright has just moved down here, put it a bit more central for future use, in case they're trying to respawn nightmares and whatnot. That's it, really. That's that activation, because he didn't have Audacity, so he is done, is that Nightmare. Right, to the Joker's last activation, I believe. And finally, it was the Joker's victim's turn. He activated and went straight into the Nightmare of Anger there, because the Mindless Monster trait basically makes it almost mandatory. He was the nearest target. He did have a swipe. He only needed a 6 to come up with a reroll with the knife, and unfortunately did not happen. Yes, the Nightmare of Anger, don't forget, is carrying 1 point of blood damage already, so another one would have seen it off again. But no, it was not to be, and that concludes the activation not only for Joker's victim, but the activations of all models in round number 2. So we are done. I'll just do some tidying up and go to the recount phase. Back in just a sec. Okay, recount phase is complete, and yeah, let's see who scored what. So for the Scarecrow crew, no cards came out, and there's no cards to say that they've scored, so that's that for them. However, that Stinky Fish is still there, so it doesn't look fresh. Scores for the Joker crew, and Psychopaths well scored this round, because there's lots and lots of models taken out of the action and KO'd. So yeah, Machos scored that one. It was a very brutal turn for both sides, really. Right, in terms of poison, every model suffering from poison took a point of damage, including Scarecrow, who's now down to his last point of endurance before he goes under. That's unfortunate for him, but yeah, and that's that. We're going to go now to round number 3, and I got a feeling I don't know if Scarecrow's going to last, but yeah, both crews have scored a lot of points. Right, the battle continues on into round 3, and yeah, I've just completed the first 2 phases of that round. The Scarecrow this time won the initiative die roll. Did not have any cards to play in either phase though. The Joker crew for their part played Psychopaths once again. It was knocking around in their hands, so out it comes for the 3rd time in 3 turns. Right, yeah, so who's got Audacity? Well, the Joker crew doesn't have to lay any of theirs out. They can just carry on assigning it where they need to. Don't have too many models left either. But the Scarecrow have, yes, they've given 1 to Scarecrow himself, 1 to Dr. Fright, and 1 each to, sorry, just pardon me, the Fear Beast Nightmare over here. There we are. And 1 to the Nightmare of Fear here, who are currently off the board but can be given Audacity due to their rules. I do however need to either sacrifice a terror card from the pile or a fear card from the objective deck in order to bring them back, but the Scarecrow are hoping to have some in their deck to do so. Right, that's it, let's get on, do some moving and stuff. Went with Scarecrow first. Oh, forgot to put the activated marker on him. There we are. yeah, he activated. He was over here. He first of all used Inspire Fear on this clown here, inflicting the scared result on him. He then used his Terrorific Scythe to finish off this chap. Both sides put in maximum effort so they could get their pool of dice out, but yeah, that's it. He's dead. I mean, it was, you know, the strength die came up and that was enough to kill this guy anyway, but you never know, just want to make sure, don't you? That, because he was scared before he died, Endless Torment could be played for 2 victory points. Remove as a casualty an enemy model affected by the scared effect, and yeah, Scarecrow just done that and added a fear card to the deck, etc, etc. Next up, he used Casting Fears to get this Nightmare of Anger to attack Joker, inflicting 1 point of blood on the Clown Prince of Crime. Yeah, and then what did he do next? Oh yes, he just moved down to here. He wanted to be close to this Nightmare to give himself a little bit of bodyguard protection and get away from some katana wielding clowns. So that's that for him, and we're going to go to the Joker now. Went with Ace of Spades next, and he had a simple task. He didn't even need inspiration, although he could have used it because there's plenty to go around in the Joker crew. He moved up to here and picked up the Scarecrow suspect marker that was hitherto, well, where his activated marker is now. He picked it up, allowing him to play so long. It's been a gas from the hand, as we've seen a couple of times already. And yeah, he stayed there. The exploding teeth moved to here. They counted down to 0 and they explode, which unfortunately does 1 point of damage to each of these models, and Scarecrow is dead. He can't be saved from exploding mechanical teeth, unfortunately for him, so he is gone. Yeah, that's well, that's a hit for the Scarecrow crew, but they have been able to use his activations to, you know, 3 turns out of 4 at least, so it's not too bad. It's not like when I lose Two-Face on turn 2 or something. Anyway, that's it for Ace of Spades. 2 points in the bag. The Nightmare of Demotivation was next up for Scarecrow, and it had inspiration because the new, well, Linda Frittata is now the boss of the Scarecrow crew. Well, and she was able to inspire beforehand because she was lieutenant, but never mind. He, with his freebie Manipulate, he picked up this suspect marker. I'll get it in a minute. He picked up that suspect marker and in doing so allowed him to play Fear Makes You Predictable, because 2 for points, reveal enemy suspect within 4 inches of an enemy model suffering an effect, and this clown over here is poisoned, this one over here has enervating on him, so yeah, there's effects around. Anyway, so there we go. He then attacked this guy, and between the terror cards being revealed and the roll to hit and everything, and a bit of effort as well, 3 points of stun, 2 points of blood. This clown is up and running, but he's very close to either going unconscious or well, dying altogether. So yeah, drawing the cards back up, a fear card was moved up, was revealed, so they have managed to put Scared on the Joker there. Having revealed that card, that scored What Do You Fear straight away, because that was the 4th fear card to go back to the pile. So another 3 points for Scarecrow just for doing their thing. That's enough. This deck's awesome. I love it. It's so much fun to play. Right, okay, that's that for this Nightmare's turn. Just zooming in on Katana guy over here, he activated, he moved up, he tried to feint against the Arkham Asylum staff, did not succeed. She was able to put maximum effort in, but nonetheless, with the 2 bonus attack dice he had from earlier on at the Joker's behest, he was able to get a couple of hits through, which is enough to kill her. She's not there to be attacked or damaged, so unfortunately it was not to be, I'm afraid. She was able he then put down a suspect mark, as you can see, and it's Bite the Dust once again, so there you go. Not good, but yeah, only a counter of 3 on this one as well, so yeah, that's another one down. Okay, moving back to the Scarecrow crew. The Fear Beast Nightmare manifested once again, and well, first of all tried to inspire fear in the Joker, but was completely unsuccessful, as you'd expect. Sorry, just wobbled there for a second. But then he settled about attacking the Clown Prince of Crime, who efforted 3 times, but the strength die did get him, causing 1 point of damage, inflicting, putting another fear card into the deck, and inflicting terror on the Joker's crew once again. The hit did mean that Test Patience now scores. There's another 5 hits caused across the board, so 2 more points there for the Joker crew. So all in all, things are yes, the Scarecrow keeps getting its models back, which is starting to really be a bit of a difference between the two crews, since the Jokers, well, they don't. Well, the Joker went up next, and well, he just moved up and knifed this guy to bits. Well, this Nightmare even to bits. One more hit was all it took. The Nightmare was suffering from poison from the previous turn, so seasoning the mix could be played for 2 lovely points, and that's pretty much all he can do. He can't target Fright with any effects or anything, because with it from his to prove a point action, unfortunately, because she has the intel support rule, so I believe that trumps everything. She's not technically there, if you see what I mean. So yeah, and that's that for him. He's done for now. Over to the Scarecrow. Okay, we went with Dr. Fright next. Okay, she had plenty to do. She has audacities and lots to do with it. So first of all, she played. Where's it gone? Here a second ago. Oh yeah, here we go. What do you fear? Once again from her hand, possibly a bit late in the game to try and get 4 fear cards out of the deck back to the fear pile, but you never know. Funny enough though, just by redrawing cards, the first card out was a fear card. If I put 1 on that 1 marker on there already, so there you go. This Nightmare of Anger now has a plus attack bonus, and the second card to come out was also a fear card as well, so they're really getting through them. Any more to within 4 inches of at least one of your suspects suffers the scared effect, so the Joker's victim down there got scared too, so well, there you are. So that's already halfway towards scoring the card, so hush my mouth, right? She next put down a suspect marker there, just for future use of maybe summoning nightmares back, and she did inspire fear on, let me see, who was it? Oh yeah, she managed to inflict the scared effect on this chap up here. That was all. And then she also did casting fears from the Nightmare Scare Beast, or Fear Beast Nightmare, to attack Joker once again, causing, oh, I forgot to mark it up, an extra point of blood and an extra point sorry, of stun. Okay, on top of the blood he got from the terror card that he decided to draw as well. Silly him. So yeah, so Joker's really starting to flag a bit now. He's over halfway towards being killed and taken out of action altogether, and he's got quite a bit of stun damage on him as well. So yeah, it's not so good, is it? Right, so that's that done. Let me see now what else is going to happen. Did she? Oh yes, I haven't done her movement yet. I just wanted to show you. She's just going to move herself, pop herself down here to give some coverage for her reduced inspiration radius. That's what I was looking for, and that is her activation done. Oh, no, it's not. I've got to move the exploding teeth before it explodes. We've rolled a 4, so it'll go down towards about 4. It's going to be about on that bonnet there, I think. To do this roughly, because I ain't got time for measuring stuffs. It's a bit about there, I reckon. It's safe. From there it will obviously hit her, but it won't affect her because of intel support, but I'll put a point of blood damage on the Nightmare, and that will score in the Scarecrow's turn. It will score Bite the Dust for them for 2 points. Okay, and that's it. That's their turn. That's the turn of the Scarecrow crew over for now. Gonna go back to the Joker, see who's left for them to activate. Yeah, I think it was just one model left now for the Joker, and that's his victim there, who just tried to attack. He couldn't really do an activation to move, because then he wouldn't get to attack anyone, mindless monster being the trait that it is. So he just attacked the Nightmare of Anger, trying to get a magic 6 on that strength die roll, really, and it didn't come up, unfortunately. Statistically it wasn't likely to happen, but that's it. Yeah, so that is him done. Just time now for the Scarecrow to play out its activations. The Nightmare of Insignificance manifested back into play. The reveal of a terror, discarding a terror card deck from the stash back into the Joker's pile just meant that they could bring this model back, which was taken out of action last turn. They played Test Patience again because they think they might be able to get this out before the end of the game. Just need to cause some hits with Nightmares on the prostrate Joker's crew at this point. Revealing it, sent 2 more fear cards out of the deck, so there must be, I have been shuffling them well, but yeah, oh well. And on the Joker's crew side, only 2 models have got audacity counters so far, and it's the Joker himself and this chap up here. And Joker was the only one who could really take it, because it would have knocked out the other guy, so I gave it a chance. I thought even with a bad roll, Joker might be able to take it, but unfortunately when this guy then threw his obligatory pumpkins at the Clown Prince of Crime, he got the hit. He needed to knock the Joker out, so yeah, that's a bit harsh for the Joker crew. They're losing their leader now. Well, he's KO'd, but that's pretty bad in this situation. So yeah, just gonna keep playing with the Scarecrow crew, and I'll just recount what they managed to do. And continuing the onslaught, the Nightmare of Fear manifested once again, taking the last fear card out of the Scarecrow pile, and well, deck even, and appearing once again to torment the Clown's crew. He first of all, he had audacity from the beginning of the turn. He tried to inspire fear just to try and get that really high roll to finish off Katana Clown up there. Did not happen, unfortunately, and despite all the nightmares around him, he just refuses to die of a heart attack or something. But yeah, then the nightmare just did its attack on the Joker, who is knocked out, so therefore unable to defend himself, caused 3 points of blood damage, which is enough to take the Joker out of the game. So yeah, he's down and out for the count there. And yeah, oh, and I forgot to mention in the last activation, What Do You Fear scored shortly after Fright played it, when another 2 fear cards came out, like I recounted last turn. But yeah, just meant to tell you that that card now scored. Yeah, so whew, just one more model left to go, I think, and then we're done for round number 3. Yeah, the Nightmare of Anger just slapped around that Joker's victim, one of the worst statted models in the game, and yeah, with the extra die for the attack die from the fear card from earlier that was given to the Nightmare of Anger, he was easily able to overpower the well, Joker's Nightmare and take him out of the game with 3 points of blood damage. Oof. And in doing so, they were to play Endless Torment for 2 points, remove as a casualty an enemy model site affected by the scared effect, which yeah, again, Joker's victim was from another fear card. So yeah, those fear cards really do tie in nicely with this deck and the way the crew works. So there you go. That concludes all the activations for round number 3. Definitely the Scarecrow's crew have got the better of it, despite losing Scarecrow himself in terms of the models and things. But lots of points scored by both sides. Both sides running out of actual cards to to play with, actually, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, round 4 is bound to be incredibly short. So just hold on. I'll go to the recount phase back in just a moment. Right, yeah, recount phase done. A couple of cards scored. Psychopath easily scored again for the Joker for a lovely 3 points. We do like that card. When that was added into the Joker's crew, it really sort of, I think it sewed everything together. For the Scarecrow's part, though, they play it as the Dawn Comes. Well, the Dawn Comes, because they do have 1 fear card left in their pile, and yeah, that's 2 points for them at the end of the turn. So, whew, both sides still scoring despite the carnage on the board. Unfortunately for the Joker, the Street Jester with the gas gun did not come round from being unconscious. It was statistically very unlikely, but yeah, it was not to be either. So there we go. Yeah, the Scarecrow crew is kind of overrunning the board. Only 2 models left for the Joker, and they're both fairly low-level henchmen, one of whom is very nearly dead. But yeah, we're going to go on, do turn 4 now, round 4, and we'll see who can just squeeze out those last few points. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Right, honestly, it really wasn't worth breaking. I didn't think it would be worth breaking it down, so I just played out the turn, and I thought I'd tell you what happened in round number 4, to be honest. So the Joker crew, unsurprisingly, given the disparity in numbers, got the initiative in the last round of playing. They played another copy of Psychopath just to see what could come from it, but they didn't actually score it in the end, funny enough, because no one really died. Models were hanging on by a breath, but not actually passing away, so they didn't really score that one. But nonetheless, what happened was, first of all, they moved Katana Clown up here with audacity, popped down a stinky fish, which the Scarecrow just couldn't catch one game, so they scored that come the end. Between the Nightmare of Anger and the newly summoned what's he called? Nightmare of Demotivation. They were to do a couple of hits each on this chap here, and the Nightmare of Fear finished off the young, well, Street Jester over here. So Test Patience scored for the Scarecrow crew for 2 points over the course of the thing. Ace of Spades himself actually ran over to a Joker suspect marker himself, and he revealed it. He had audacity to let them do their thing, as it turned into an exploding set of teeth, I think, and when just went whoosh and boomed up here, causing a bit of damage, and took a couple of hit points off the Fear Beast Nightmare. But overall, that was it. It caused 2 points for the Joker crew there. So overall, it was a score of 4 points for the Joker crew and 2 points for the Scarecrow crew, and that was it. The Joker was hoping to get 3 more Psychopath points, but just was not quite to be. And that concludes all the activations for this game. Like as anticipated at the end of round 3, the Scarecrow crew definitely has the upper hand in terms of who's got the models on the board. But we're about to go to the scores, and both crews are just about scored out their entire decks. Just about. There's a few points left in it for both of them, which didn't get through for both of them. But both crews having a pretty good field day in terms of scoring. But I'll just come back to you with the final scores and the final thoughts. Okay, I'm holding both crew decks, both scored piles in my hands. The Scarecrow one looks certainly more, it feels bigger than the Joker's score pile, but then the Scarecrow's cards are newer, so they sit a bit fatter in their deck protectors, shall we say. So that could be an illusion. Let's get on with this though, and I'm just going to start. Here's the Joker's crew. Let's see what they scored. So they got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 16, 18, 20, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 36, 38, 40 points. That's mighty. That's pretty mighty. 40 points scored. I'd certainly be happy with that most times. I've won games with far less than that. So yeah, but 40 points to beat, and a fat ass Scarecrow score deck here. Right, so let's see what they got. 2, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, 22, 25, 27, 29, 32, 34, 36, 38, 41, 43, 45, 47 points. That's a haul, and there was even more in the deck than that to go as well. So the high score ceiling on the Scarecrow seemed to be pretty substantial. That was a fun game. I'm really impressed with how the Scarecrow works. My thoughts on the Scarecrow crew, given that they were playing a crew I'm quite familiar with in Joker, is that they're really simple to get going, and those synergies really do just play themselves. That's awesome. Very good. I mean, obviously the more you play it, the more you'll get out of it. That's obviously a truth, but they really do work if you just read the rules as you go along, and put the fear cards in your deck and wait for them to come up, and just play the objective cards that come out, and you'll eventually start accruing points. Lovely jubbly. It's really good, and you can really annoy your opponent with those fear cards and those terror cards. The terror cards I was led to believe weren't actually that powerful because the effects seem fairly minor, but when you're pulling 3 out or so every single time, and you're pulling 3 blood damage sometimes as well, just for taking a willpower test, oof, didn't like that. that was unpleasant, but I was led to believe that it's just really good to keep that deck low, keep that terror pile low, and that's true because you can't score anything in the terror pile as the opponent. So yeah, I think overall there's a lot more work to be done in terms of working out how to play against this crew. I think familiarity will be really good to beating this crew, so if you have a regular opponent who plays a Scarecrow, you will eventually find it easier to beat them. I think that's where the learning curve lies, not with the using of the crew, but with the playing against them perhaps, because these nightmares coming back and being able to attack in the turn they do makes this crew a lot more mobile than it first appears. And yeah, if you can take out Scarecrow, that's a good plan. If you can do that and you get an opportunity to do it before he can get a decent bodyguard of nightmares around him, you take that chance. And those special actions he's got are bloody good. If you let him and Fright run rampant over your crew with those, you're in trouble, you know. So again, the more knowledge you have of you playing against them, the better. Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I just sort of mashed two crews together and saw what happened, really. I figured the Joker's crew would be best to do that with, because they can sort of feed off of the chaos to score cards, and they did. They got a hefty haul of points into the bargain. Definitely can see why they're moving to a 30-card game rather than the 20-card decks in the traditional rules. I do hear a lot of veteran players say that they regularly score the entirety of their 20-card decks, and I can see why, obviously. And definitely some of the mechanics in some of the newer crews really play into you having bigger decks, especially the Scarecrow crew. Yeah, having a 30-card deck is really, really useful in that, because you can just keep, you're diluting the fear cards going in, and the opponent's got more terror cards you can put in the terror pile that way and everything. You don't keep having to refresh the decks 100 times every turn. That's fair enough, but I'm quite loath myself to start printing out beta cards if they're going to be immediately outdated or made redundant or something, because printer ink's a thing that costs money, and sleeving cards, I'm just finding it a pain at the moment. But so I'm going to continue on with 20 until such time as they become a little bit more official than just beta. Okay, but for anyone who is playing the game or interested in playing the game, there are some beta cards up. I've had a glance over them, they look really fun. So if you want to get up to date, try the beta cards out. Anyway, I'll stop wittering on now. This is a really good game. I really enjoyed it. The Scarecrow crew is a valuable addition to it. It plays quite differently. It's not just Poison Ivy on steroids or with slight differences or other. It's got its own theme. Can't ask for more than that. Yet another crew with its own distinctive theme in the game. Looking forward to playing it again. Maybe see how the Court of Owls does with nightmares pulling them apart, or not, and yeah, I've got plenty more to do on my channel as well. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Shieldwall100, and I'll see you next time.